Good evening, and tonight the big story concerns Gary Birtles. The England and Nottingham Forest striker is on his way to Manchester United. Tonight a deal involving £1.5 million has been set up and will be completed after a board meeting at Old Trafford on Wednesday. Today Birtles played his last game for Nottingham Forest against Manchester United, and that's one of the matches that we have for you tonight. Also tonight we feature two clubs in trouble. Crystal Palace, who were bottom this morning, against West Brom.
Well, it was Nicholas, and now it's with Allen.
And Manchester City against champions Liverpool, where City's Malcolm Allison is under pressure. Plenty of news buzzing around the football world tonight, and here with more leading headlines, Jim Rosenthal.
Kevin Keegan has a serious ankle injury. He's likely to miss England's World Cup qualifier in Romania. Middlesbrough hit Norwich for 6, and the league leaders Ipswich drop a home point to Leeds.
But now let's have our main match, Crystal Palace against West Bromwich Albion. Palace in growing trouble at the foot of the table with only 2 points this season, but with one or two signs that things might be getting a little better.
Vince Hilaire returns to the Crystal Palace side after serving his 4-match suspension following that pushing incident with the referee. And maybe he'll give a new impetus to this Crystal Palace side that's won only one league game this season. There was more good news this morning for them. It was feared that striker Clive Allen might be out with a slight groin injury, but he's fit. And Neil Smiley has shaken off an injury at the top of the leg. He's playing too. Ian Walsh is the Palace sub. He's got a pay dispute with the club at the moment. It's the first time he's been named this season. Meanwhile, West Bromwich Albion are able to field an unchanged side. Their England international, Brian Robson, is missing from the midfield for the 3rd successive game. He's now 99% fit, and indeed the manager Ron Atkinson came close to including him for this match, though Albion have won the 3 games that Robson has missed. The match has got a special meaning for young Remy Moses, a Manchester boy who made his first appearance for Albion in this game at Selhurst Park last January. And indeed for Brendan Batson, the former Arsenal defender, who heard this week that he's one of 4 Albion men included in the England B squad to face the United States at Old Trafford later this month. The referee is Alan Gunn of Sussex. He was in charge of the Arsenal-Nottingham Forest game last Saturday. Well, let's hope he doesn't face another controversial was it a goal or wasn't it a goal dilemma. The crowd down a bit, which reflects the poor start that Palace have made to this season. But in that crowd, England manager Ron Greenwood. So Albion get us away in yellow and green stripes, attacking the goal to our left. This is Regis. Incidentally, it was Ron Atkinson saying that it was the game here against Palace at the end of last January, which they drew 2, that really set them on their way last season. At that point, they were perilously close to the bottom of the table. But they got a 2-2 draw that day. It set them on to better things, and they've lost only 4 of the last 29 since then. Indeed, Albion have lost only 1 of their last 15 away games. That's something of the measure that Palace are up against at the moment, with just 2 points so far to show for their efforts this season. Here's Flanagan for them now. Not scored in 8 games, Mick Flanagan. And well stopped there by Ali Robertson. Weil up well for Albion. Smiley playing it here for Jerry Francis, with Fenwick going wide on the left for him. Francis now finding Fenwick. Now back for Hilaire. Now for Nicholas, just back in the side again after injury. And Derek Stadham shoveling the ball away here for Peter Barnes. Another England B player for that Old Trafford game. This indeed is Gary Owen. And Cyril Regis, the other Albion man in that side. Here's the ball now back with Tony Godden. And he's gone, in fact, over 3 seasons without missing a game for West Bromwich Albion in goal. That's an amazing record. I'm sure it's one that Paul Barron at the other end will be hoping to emulate for Crystal Palace. His form's been good in the last couple of games. Moses playing it in again for Brown. Here's Regis. And Cannon getting it away to Francis. Hilaire's gone up in support. Wiles gone across to challenge. And Moses, but Francis still got it into the middle there. And when he comes as far as Flanagan, and a shot! Well, Mick Flanagan may have scored only one this season, but it's never stopped him for a moment having a bang or losing his confidence. He's hit this one really well. It's a fairly ambitious ball which Robertson has no trouble cutting out. Statham chipping it here to Regis, touched in nicely by him to Ali Brown. Moses has made a break from the midfield. Here's Remy Moses coming through with a great chance now for Albion. Oh, and he's missed it. Oh, what a good chance there that was allowed to be frittered by Remy Moses there. A really brilliant break there by West Bromwich Albion that caught Palace out so severely. Played there by Brown into the path here of Moses. He'd done all the hard work. Allen, oh, a nice turn. And he's tricked John Weil for a moment. Wiles after him, but now with Flanagan. Played in again. Oh, into the side netting from Terry Finnick. A fullback linking up. Well, as Palace fans would know, in Kenny Sanson style, really, with the attack here, going all the way through, flicking it with the outside of the boot. Look at that, off the post, in fact. Cannon with a header. Allen on the far side. And a good challenge there by Brendan Batson. Played in here again for Cyril Regis. Wide for Ali Brown. And there are certainly enough Albion players into that box, but a good, comfortable catch. And Ron Atkinson, it's going very much according to plan for you at the moment, I imagine. No great problems.
Not at the moment, Brian, but I would like to be a little bit happier if we close their strikers out a little bit. I feel our central defenders are perhaps letting them. They've got three little fellas up front, or three fairly bright fellas, and they're giving us more problems, as you're just about to see.
Well, that was really always
more problems than I would have expected them to give us, simply and purely because I feel we're letting their three strikers drop off us a little bit. We're not getting enough tackles in at the back. When we come forward, we look as if we can open their back four up fairly comfortably.
Okay, Ron, thank you. Well, they thought they'd caught him offside there, but they hadn't. And Statham's missed header. Oh. Well, the whistle went just a little too quickly there. But they've been allowed to take the free kick quickly, and in the end, Hilaire tried to play that in, curling it in behind the Albion defence. In fact, before we get started, I think it's going to be Derek Statham who was having a go at the referee, and maybe it was Gary Owen who wasn't happy with that free kick being allowed to be taken as quickly as that. Just get on with the game and leave the decisions to me, he said. 5 in the wall. Allen, Francis and Flanagan behind. Peter Nicholas is not far off. Played for Flanagan and curled in there by Allen, and Goddard must have seen that very late. There was a nice little ploy on that side of the wall, and you can see the problems it must have been for the keeper here. Suddenly it sprang between the gap there. Down he went. His hands didn't get to it, but his chest did. Statham playing it towards Owen. And yes, a push by Gary Owen on the Palace defender, free kick. Cannon. Regis beaten again by Cannon. Finnick trying to nick his way through there. Oh, and a good advantage played there because Flanagan was felled, but the ball came through to Allen here. And the little chip by him! Oh, my goodness! Great piece of thinking by Clive Allen. Very nearly produced a really good goal. There's the little chip spotting. Look, he's 6 yards off his line, he's gone. And how fortunate for him it was just wide. But not for him. Statham. Brown. Barnes playing it in again for Statham. Look how the defenders come right in there and got a good cross in as well. Oh, a terrible miss by Regis, and it was almost then put away by Fennick. Well, Cyril Regis will be so disappointed with that, particularly after the brilliant work by Derek Statham. Corner coming up in a moment, but just look at this. What a lovely cross as well. And it was falling so well there. And then for a moment it looked almost as though Fennick might finish it off for him. But it's a corner. Here's Barnes with it. Curled in there, Fennick making no mistake that time. Certainly Albion have had the better chances. One missed by Moses and one missed there by Regis. What's the message for them at half-time, Ron?
Well, I think we've got to tighten up at the back. We've certainly got to tighten up in midfield. And we've got to keep playing into our forward players, because every time, I mean, we've just seen there when Cyril Regis has missed that chance, which has got to be as easy a chance as we've had this season, off Statham's cross. If we do that and we play sensible, I could fancy us to win this game. But if we don't, I mean, they're busy and bright and they've got good inventive ideas up front. We'd have to be very, very careful of that. This fella's got to pull his finger out as well.
With Peter Barnes.
Yes.
And Moses doing a lot of work again for you.
He's working very, very hard. He missed a good chance early on, but I'd just like to see him win a few more tackles. That's his game, winning tackles and putting people under pressure. And he hasn't won as many as we expect him to. He's let Francis out a little bit.
Give it.
Okay, Ron, thanks a lot. Peter Barnes doesn't quite know what the message is going to be, but it's going to be a few sharp words at half-time from his manager. Although he has looked better, I must say, in the last 5 minutes or so. And that's going to be a goal kick. Well, it won't be a goal kick because the half-time whistle has gone. Well, Clive Allen, with one little volley, one little lob, rather, very nearly put Palace in front. Although there's no doubt about it that it's Albion who've made the better chances. And Paul Barron going in there with Jim Cannon would certainly testify to the fact that Remy Moses and Cyril Regis might easily have scored for West Bromwich Albion. So it's a game that's still pretty well balanced. And a half-time score here at Selhurst Park is Crystal Palace 0, West Bromwich Albion 0. So Palace get us away at the start of the second half. I'm sure they're fed up with people saying that, of course, this time last season they were unbeaten. And right at the top of the First Division, here they are, though, with just one league game. And right at the bottom. They'll be looking so desperately for a win now. I think they've got their substitute, Ian Walsh, on. So Walsh is on, and it's Neil Smiley who's gone off. Regis with a back header. Remy Moses with the throw. Here's John White. Robertson, or rather Brown. Oh, tackled out of that situation by Terry Fennick. Here's Hilaire. Batson. And now Moses. It's a fall for Nicholas. It's a long kick, and Palace have two up. Walsh amongst them, and Allen. And for a moment it looked as though they might produce something there. The long kick somehow caught the Albion defence out, and both Walsh and Allen were right in the thick of it. Played in for Allen. Stop for a moment. Can Hilaire get in there? No, he can't. Statham doing a good job there for West Bromwich Albion, and then finding Gary Owen. Swept here for Truick. Clearly Albion, through the words of their manager, believing that this is a game they could win. Batson. Regis. He's got round cannon well there as Cyril Regis. And even then, in the end, they couldn't finish it off. Brown, of all people, who is usually a deadly finisher. Regis did so well here against Jim Cannon. Just keeping the ball in play. Now Fennick. Played in for Allen. Hilaire. First time here for Francis. And now for Walsh to chase it. What a nice little knockback by him for Clive Allen. Now for Walsh again. And back again. Well, it was Nicholas, and now it's with Allen. Oh, just wide. Well, there's no doubt about it that the advent of Ian Walsh has made a lot of difference now to Crystal Palace. He's combining so well with Clive Allen. And then when that ball is played in here by Nicholas, Allen very nearly gets the right way through, and just look at that. Every few minutes of the second half have really shown that maybe Walsh and Clive Allen might make a very useful striking partnership up front for Crystal Palace. Walsh, who's been in dispute over wages with the club, so it's the first real time he's got to grips as a partnership with Allen in the First Division. He's a Welsh international, of course, and suddenly the crowd are beginning to spur Crystal Palace on. They've sensed that there's something that might be happening here as well. Well, it's Jerry Francis with the kick. Played wide here for Mike Flanagan. Played in first time towards Clive Allen. Again, it's Francis. The linesman's flagging on this side. The referees acknowledged it and let the game go on. And Statham now, trying to get Peter Barnes away. Gilbert's got to get back now for Crystal Palace. Brown supporting. Truick's right up in there as well. Truick now, oh, just knocked off the top of his head there by Fennick. That was a really valuable header there from the Palace left-back, Terry Fennick. It must have just skimmed his head, but it was just enough because Truick was right behind him, waiting to head into an open net. 10 minutes of the second half gone. Hinshelwood away, Flanagan. Turning it down here for Hilaire, but it'll be for Truick. Played in again now for Batson. Good play here by Brendan Batson, just wide of that Palace goal. Good start to the second half, this. Batson showing good skills on the ground here and quite a forceful left foot shot. Wide of the Palace goal. Towards Walsh. Trick. Brown. And now Barnes. Statham. Truick playing it in for Regis. The flag stayed down, although Palace are looking hard at the linesman. And Regis was really in there quickly, and if it had been just a foot either side of Barron, there wasn't much he could have done about it. It was straight at him, though. And while putting it where it's safe. It seems that Palace are causing just a few more problems for you in the second half, Ron.
Yes, the boy Walsh is battling and putting our centre-halves about, and Hilaire's having quite a useful game for them. Having said that, if you look again, I mean, even this half, we've had two good chances, you know, with Regis. Two chances that, I mean, the one there when he had the head off Truick's ball in, and he should have buried that. But as you say, they're giving us more problems now. But we've got to get right out of the game. We've got to get people from midfield. We're a bit pedestrian in midfield at the moment.
Who in particular have you got to get out?
Well, we've got to get the three midfield players out. At the moment, young Moses seems as if he wants to take it on his own. I've just seen him throw himself into their goal area. I've just seen himself winning balls down at our end of the field. But other people have got to try and get out, and that may be due to them. We've got to try and get Batson out. We've got to try and get Truitt. Truitt's got to speed his game up a little bit in terms of sprinting for the ball. Gary Owen's got to make a bigger contribution. At the moment, we're just looking for a no-score draw, and it's there to be won if we push out at them. If we don't, if we invite pressure, there's a very real chance that they're going to nick one. I mean, the silly thing is, it's a no-score draw, and it might be something like about, I don't know, anything, 3 each. Anything.
Thanks for your contribution, Ron. Thank you. Again, you got the impression that West Bromwich Albion believe this is a match that could be won, but equally they fear that it's one now that Crystal Palace, with growing confidence, might nick for themselves. Walsh, who's causing trouble, but there's no free kick there as Moses gets the ball away to Brown. Challenged very strongly by Flanagan. I think a lot of the fans would have seen that as a shoulder-to-shoulder challenge, but the referee was right on the spot. It's a free kick to West Bromwich Albion. And here's Truitt. He's one of the midfield men, and Batson too, one of the men from the back that Ron Atkinson wants to see push forward much more. Hinchelwood getting that one away. Moses played for Regis. And now Barnes. Beaten by Paul Hinchelwood. Too high, that one for Allen. It's Robertson. Played in again towards Cyril Regis. And a fine piece of keeping again by Barron, flinging himself there at that shot, which looked as though for a moment it was past him. It looked very much as though Regis would make that one count. Taken nicely on his chest, and the keeper throwing himself in the path of it. Well, he's onside, Hilaire, and Godden, look at that for quick reactions. Well, you have to applaud the keeper for that. Well, that's really aware of the danger there was Tony Godden. He was like an Olympic sprinter off the line there as soon as he saw that Hilaire was in an amazing amount of space. Palace have looked so much better in the second half. Walsh almost getting it through to Jerry Francis. Moses making it through there for Owen. Owen then losing it out. Hilaire on his way again. Played nicely there into space for Batson. Brown is waiting in there as well. And Gilbert hasn't been able to stop them now. Can Batson cross that in again? He can. It's a good one. Regis! Ron Atkinson off the bench because Regis knows that he might have had a hat-trick. And at the fourth attempt, he's got it. Back on their seats again there. But it was Batson with this beautiful cross here. Regis up, powerful header, and there was nothing that Barron could do about it. Well, that's again for the second successive week, a real sickener there for Crystal Palace. They've played well enough at least to get a point. Last week they were beaten right at the last by Aston Villa. And now here they are in danger of the same thing happening tonight, today against West Bromwich Albion. Well, they've given it away again to Regis. Well, he certainly owed West Bromwich Albion something this afternoon. Well, look at the disappointment there on the Palace bench. Mitchell will be the throw. It's now with Cannon. Atkinson. I think Cyril Regis owed you that one, Ron, didn't he?
Yes, well, he's had one of those days. We've just been talking on the bench. Mike Brown, my assistant, has said, you know, he said that he didn't think Cyril would ever score today. I said, well, at least he keeps going in there. And if he keeps going in there, there's a better chance of him scoring than if he doesn't go in there. But that was the way we always felt we would get a goal, Brian, was to work a ball wide in the final third and then just deliver it into the air. We always feel we've got more superiority than them in the air. You know, our strikers have won an awful lot of high balls today.
A look at the watch. 2 minutes of injury time now played. Another look at the watch. Once Gordon's released this ball, the whistle will go. In fact, it's gone already. 2 points for Ron Atkinson and for West Bromwich Albion, with that Cyril Regis goal right at the end there, meaning another defeat and more problems for Crystal Palace, who will stay at the bottom of the table with only 2 points to show for their efforts all season. But not a bad performance by them, particularly in the second half, when really they looked as though they might be worthy of at least a point. Certainly no criticism of Paul Barron, who brought off 1 or 2 excellent saves and had no chance whatsoever with that Regis header. Full time then here at Selhurst Park. Crystal Palace 0, West Bromwich Albion 1.
Well, I don't know about you, but I found that a really enjoyable game. But it does mean, of course, that Palace are still stuck right at the bottom of the First Division. But it was a better performance by them. And afterwards, I got the views of the two managers, Terry Venables of Palace and Ron Atkinson of West Brom. For Terry Venables, what next?
We're hoping we can pick it up. We're still in touch with teams above us, 3 points to, and that's what we've got to try and do. We've got to try and put it right. We feel we can put it right. And for lots of that game today, I thought we played very well.
In what ways do you think you can put it right? What have you seen that you can
I
do?
think in certain areas we're a little bit unconfident. I think we're dropping off people instead of marking them as tight as what we normally do. I think that is confidence. Confidence is not always what people do on the ball, it's what they do for marking, and we're not doing that particularly well at the moment, so I've got to do something about that.
They're not the worst side in the division by a mile. And we've played, or certainly I've seen sides that haven't got as much class as they have. The confidence goes a little bit. The only advice I can say to Terry is, and I'm sure he doesn't want it anyway, is get your best team, stick to your beliefs, and just keep playing at it. You know, it will come right. Probably will have to do a little bit of work defensively, I think. I think they're a bit naive at the back.
I mean, we're losing games, so we must be a little naive somewhere, and it is, I think, at the moment, a bit at the back. I think the goalkeeper's done ever so well in the last 4 games, and I felt sorry for him that he's got punished again, where they've left him open again at the back, which is disappointing. And we got caught on 1 or 2 things naively, and I think I agree with him there, yeah.
All right, for our second game tonight, we go north to another club and another man in trouble, Manchester City and Malcolm Allison. And today, the toughest test of all for them, at home to the champions, Liverpool. One report this morning claims that Malcolm's told his players to go out and play it their way. Well, we'll see how that works as the pictures come from Granada Television with the commentator Gerald Sinstadt and Manchester City in the lighter strip.
Interesting as Clements rolled the ball out there, looking across the pitch, it was everybody paired up in reds and blues, marking very close and organised. And Caton's pass giving it to Dalglish, and that could be costly, but Caton got back and made sure that City didn't pay the price of his error. But it was a bad one. Missed kick a little bit, tried to put it wide of Dalglish, but then look how quickly he gets back and puts Dalglish off balance. Booth. Palmer through to Reeves. Reeves stopped by Thompson. Palmer again. Tried to get it out where Power was free, and City are all bunched in the middle. They didn't get the handball they claimed, and Kennedy plays it up for Dalglish. Henry. Caton. Kennedy. That was Mackenzie. And that was Hansen. Souness. McDermott. Hansen again. Taking it away from the challenge by Reeves. Playing it for McDermott. Reed it was who got in. And the ball back with Corrigan and now Ransom. Mackenzie. That was offside. No, it's not. The flag stayed down, and Clements made a very good save from Palmer, and he had to fish around a long time before he absolutely got it and squashed it, and I think may have got a kick too. Really thought that that may have been offside when it was played over the top, but the linesman very positively kept his flag down. And then when the ball squirmed loose, it was really anybody's, and Clements had to virtually swim for it. Indirect, but that's academic. It's all of 50 yards from goal, I guess. Kennedy back to Cohen. Dalglish, never quite sure which way he'll turn. And got it back onto his left foot! Always the danger. Goal manufactured by Kenny Dalglish out of absolutely nothing. Jinked one way, turned the other, double back, and the left foot did the rest. Cohen plays it in. Now he jinked to go to one side, then to the other. Now he comes back again. He's lost Caton, and the ball is in at the post. Reed to Mackenzie. And Mackenzie to Parr. Reeves gets it into Palmer, and Palmer can score. Well, he side-footed it when, against a goalkeeper like Clements, it probably needed hitting harder and maybe should have been aimed for the roof of the net, but it's easy to say. But he was absolutely clear here and then tried to side-foot it, and Clements got his body in the way. Reed to take the throw again. Neal's header. Souness. Booth spotted that quickly and claimed it. But he's stopped then by Lee. McDermott meant for Dalglish, but cleared by Caton, but only as far as Souness. Again, City closing down the space of the man on the ball, but that man was Dalglish, and he found McDermott. McDermott crosses, and Souness has got another goal. He just can't stop. Is he delighted? Dalglish it was who made the crucial move, then McDermott a lovely cross, and Souness the header, and Corrigan's hand couldn't keep the ball out. It's now 2-0. Graham Souness the scorer. It's Booth. McDermott. Fairclough's back heel to Dalglish, and McDermott streaking through, and beautifully found by Dalglish. Saved well by Corrigan. But that was a touch of vintage Liverpool then. Lovely build-up, and again Dalglish so quick to appreciate what might be on, finding McDermott there, and McDermott galloping in for the shot. Corrigan down by his post. Ransom. Reed. Mackenzie. Still Mackenzie. Gale. Dalglish for Lee. 5 of them in this break. Lee tries the shot out. What a shot it was too! Corrigan beaten by the pace of the shot from Sammy Lee. 3-0 the scoreline, and Manchester City are sunk. So many men in the break here. There were passes on, but Sammy Lee took the responsibility, scored with a fine oblique drive.
Brilliant Liverpool, another defeat for Manchester City, and this is how it leaves them at the bottom end of the table. Palace, as you can see, right at the bottom with just 2 points, and City just 2 points better off than that. And now here with the national news of today, Jim Rosenthal.
Kevin Keegan is injured again. He seems certain to miss England's World Cup qualifier in Romania on October the 15th. Keegan damaged ankle ligaments in Southampton's game at Everton, as you can see in this Sunday Mirror picture. He was carried off and flown immediately to a Southampton hospital for x-rays. Tonight, manager Laurie McMenemy says we just don't know at this stage how long Kevin will be out. Ligament damage can be worse than a break. There were 36 goals in the First Division, where Middlesbrough became the first team to get 6 this season. 6-1 the result against Norwich, but only 12,800 there to see it. That's Ayresome Park's lowest so far. Real scare for the league leaders Ipswich when Alex Sabella got his first goal for Leeds early in the second half at Portman Road. But John Walk equalised with his 12th of the season, 1-1 the result, so Ipswich still the only unbeaten side in the First Division. Bristol Rovers went home to their fire-damaged Eastville ground today, but they and their opponents Cambridge still had to change a couple of miles away at their Hambrook training ground. Take a coach to the match, and the 3 officials too. They made the journey in the referee's car. The whole convoy was given a police escort to make sure they arrived on time, and at Eastville, porter cabins were provided for a half-time cuppa. So both teams duly made it, but still no joy for Bristol Rovers as they lost by 1-0. And how about Bristol City with a new manager in Bobby Houghton? They lost 1-0 at Grimsby, and that means the poor city of Bristol, that their teams without a win between them in 18 Second Division games.
Well, coming up next, Gary Birtles playing his last game for Nottingham Forest against the club he's about to join, Manchester United, a transfer development tonight that we gave you at the start of the big match. And after that, of course, the big match classified, that comes up after the break. But before we go into the break, our big match signature tune, well, some don't like it, but it seems that many more do. And for many who've asked, it's now available on record. It's called Jubilation by Jeff Wayne. It's on Epic Records, and you'll hear it every week on this programme. We'll see you with more action after the break. And welcome back. For our third game, we go to Nottingham Forest and Manchester United. Enough excitement after the game with that Gary Birtles transfer activity involving Manchester United. But there was more than enough excitement on the pitch as well. With Forest looking to forget that European Cup disaster in midweek, United determined to get on to a consistent winning run. The pictures come from ATV. Let's check on the two teams. First of all, Nottingham Forest. It's the one that finished the game against CSKA of Sofia in the European Cup on Wednesday. It means that Larry Lloyd retains his place in defence in place of Kenny Burns, who's likely to be out for a couple of weeks yet with injury. As for Manchester United, Joe Jordan plays his first league game of the season. Now it's time for Hugh Johns as we join the game in the first half.
Thomas looking for Jordan, and he got there. Joe Jordan so desperately close to opening his account this season then. That was a beautifully flighted ball into him, and he escaped his marker. A punched header only just beat the left-hand post. Could be a break here with Robertson on for Birtles. Robertson again, taking on Duxbury. And here's Birtles. Little chip across, O'Neill. And Bailey angry with his defenders for allowing Martin O'Neill a free header, which perhaps he ought to have done a little better with. Birtles knocking it to the far post, and there's O'Neill, completely free header. Didn't hit the target. Lloyd punching that one up. O'Neill, and here's Bertels. Must get the shot in, but wide. Falling backwards, off balance. Snapped half chance. Bailey came to him, perhaps put him off, but he couldn't turn that ball in between the posts. Now Anderson. O'Neill got away from his man. Bertels. Touch back to O'Neill. Anderson trying to give support, did get a touch. McGovern. Gray's header. Robertson. Giving a touch off left side to Gray. Good, Wallace. Yes. 1-0. Forest. Ian Wallace. 31 minutes gone. His fourth goal since he came here from Coventry. And Robertson, the man who fed this ball off to Gray. And Wallace positioning himself perfectly for the cross ball, which was delivered accurately. The downward header, the goalkeeper's got no chance. So, Forest 1-0 up against United. The free kick given, the charge in the back by Jordan. Alveston, the free kick. Looking for Jordan. The ball drops for Gray. And Bertels goes away left side. Out, ball out. Alveston. Ooh, get another chance, and Anderson again got a boot there. Couple against Lloyd this time. And Jordan is supporting him. And just dropped to Duxbury. No, it didn't. What an important piece of goalkeeping by Peter Shilton. That looked as though it was just going to skid through onto the toe of Duxbury. Here he comes now, and Shilton just grabbed it at the last second. Jovanovic, as Wallace comes to him. Good skills by the Yugoslavian international. Alveston, as Thomas comes deep towards his fullback. Jordan keeping the ball in play, but in fact gives it away to Bertels. Now in turn gives it away to Nicol. A short, easier pass would have been a better idea. Macari rolls that down to Alveston. Jordan. Aiming for Koppel. Touch for Thomas. Looks useful. That's the goal from Macari, 1-1. So simple, so perfectly executed. And other simple things delightful to watch. 43 minutes gone. United fans, travelling fans from the Stretford end, rejoice as Lou Macari scores his third goal of the season. 1-1 the scoreline. So beautifully worked. Koppel nipping it off to Thomas, waited a second, slots it across the face of the goal, and there's the Macari on the end of it. Wallace. Anderson. And Macari will be there ahead of Wallace. Well, we're in stoppage time at the end of the first half. And what a fair old first half of football it's been. Thomas. drop for O'Neill, a touch to McGovern, but referee Alf Gray halts the proceedings. The half-time whistle after a fine, flowing game of football. Wallace scoring for Nottingham Forest, Macari the equaliser, and pretty good stuff to watch. So Forest get us away in the second half. Big shadows cast by the stand that we're in here, but the other side of the ground still bathed in sunshine. Anderson seemed to be barging into the back of Coppell, but he held him off. Now it's Thomas. Albiston. Jordan. Good touch off to Coppell. Little touch in for Mickey Thomas. Oh, it was beautifully controlled football right up until the last second, and that shot, well, it couldn't have shaved the post by more than a foot. See how close it did come. Ball into Mickey Thomas. Jules Shilton off his line, just wide of that post. Albiston. Jovanovic. Touch for McElroy. Oh, that was again exciting goal-mouth stuff. It's a delicate little touch that Jovanovic gets to this ball to glide it on and put McElroy in the clear. The volley snatched and wide. Employing Duxbury more in an attacking role in this half, Manchester United. Here's Macari. Thomas. Oh yes, he's away from Anderson. O'Neill flying in saves the day. And it looks as though Anderson may have injured himself. And they're not going to take any chances, I think, with Viv Anderson. They've got number 12, Gary Mills, for Forest, ready to come on. Remember, on Wednesday night, Forest delayed bringing Ken Burns off, and it was costly. Bowyer now playing right back in Anderson's place. Wallace picks up O'Neill. Forest streaming forward to get on the end of this attack. Ball too high for Birtles. Gray down. Mills gets there first, did well. Powerful youngster, this. Ball into Birtles. Birtles made that space for himself. There was a worried, anxious look on Moran's face, a look of disgust on Gary Birtles' face. He felt he ought to have put that one in. Here's Nicol. McGovern. Wallace, the touch. And this could be useful. Here's Robertson. Birtles to his left. He goes inside, picks the right foot. Was too accurate with it. Went straight to Gary Bailey, but Robertson, spotting his chance, cuts inside and triggers off the shot. Actually straight at Bailey. He only had to move a fraction then. Lloyd didn't get distance with that. There's Needham, that was handball. Alf Gray perfectly positioned to see. Macari rolls the free kick to Albiston. Now Thomas. Mills heads out. As far as Duxbury. Thomas again. And Coppell's getting there. And Coppell has scored. Two big defenders in a tangle, Lloyd and Needham. And Coppell sliced between them. 2-1 Manchester United. 28 minutes of the second half. It's Mickey Thomas who delivers the ball into the box. Thomas's ball into the box, and there's Coppell, as nice as you like, into the corner past Shilton. So 2-1 United. And the travelling Stretford end of Manchester United. Away to our right. Ah, delirious now. Birtles under this. So was Jovanovic. Drops for Robertson. Faced by McElroy. Chip in for Wallace. Touch for Birtles. Sticks it across. Unlucky. Nice bit of football by Forrest. This neatly done by Wallace. Nicks it in for Birtles. And it was Macari who put him off and allowed the shot to go wide of the right-hand post. Lloyd getting a touch. Thomas coming in fast. McGovern off to Mills. Birtles, fortunate to get a second bite of this. Waits for Mills. Good-looking cross. Bailey's full stretch got there. Birtles, and a clearance by Nicol. Lloyd, Gray. O'Neill's all right, and Robertson comes. Robertson claiming an unfair challenge. But all referee Gray gives is a goal kick. Time running out for Forrest. Birtles. Gray off to Robertson. Here's Gray again. Robertson. Looking for a good cross in. Wasn't there, Jovanovic. Robertson's kick. Moran gets it clear. Gray aiming for Robertson again. A touch on, which O'Neill might get to. And a corner. Robertson hooking this near post. And McElroy gives another corner away. So yet another chance to put pressure by Forrest on this United defence. Here's Gray. Robertson. Jovanovic gets it down and out. O'Neill for Mills. Nicol comes to him fast. Skates away from one. Good cross in. And beat him. Off the line by Thomas. No, it wasn't. It was Augustin. And it just wide again. Unbelievable. Grandstand finish was wanted. And the panic created by Gary Mills here with this ball in. Unbelievable. Needham sets himself, picks his spot. Bookkeeper beaten, Albiston off the line. Stays up there, another try. A flick on then. And still the ball won't go in the net. Robertson, O'Neill, forcing his way past Nicol. Keeps on going. Gary Mills coming in, drives it. Great try by Mills, superb save by Bailey. And that's the end of it. Forrest beaten at home, only the second time in the First Division. The match winner, Steve Coppell.
And that's it. What a big night for football news. Kevin Keegan's got a bad ankle injury and is almost certainly out of England's World Cup match in Romania. Manchester City chairman Peter Swales says, I'm backing Malcolm Allison. And Gary Birtles of Nottingham Forest is on his way to Manchester United for £1.5 million. A young man who's had his moments of triumph with Brian Clough and Peter Taylor. Good night from us all.
And Forrest looking a little more aggressive in the second half. Here's Robertson now. Can he get a shot in? Oh! And a goal there! Oh! Now Birtles.
going all the way.